everybody, it's Safi here, and it's just me today because it's Hallmark week. We're a little late. I'll explain again. It's finally Hallmark week, and I apologize for being so late. Unfortunately, our whole Christmas was basically ruined. First, Marco caught this ugly virus, then I totaled my car. Then I came down with the same virus, and finally it spread to the rest of the family.
And the virus came from a very naughty fast food worker who decided that it was okay to come into work while they were deathly ill and handle the food, make the food, and then
Cough all over the food.
hand it right to us because the food was really good. It did not seem like somebody sick touched it, but it was something was there. It might have been. I suspect that it was on the soup, the lids, and everything because she had to put that on, and I was just, ugh.
Awful. I'm still coughing and have aptly named it the virus from hell.
Yeah.
From last year, Kaylin, formerly from Prospect Heights, Illinois, who moved to Arlington Heights, Illinois, has agreed once again to participate in our Hallmark Christmas movie week. Kaylin recommends a movie called Correcting Christmas. As I said before, well, I didn't say it before, but it premiered in 2014 and stars Kelly Overton as Allie, Michael Mooney as Cameron, her boyfriend, Gloria Loring and Mark Hutter as Allie's parents Robin and Brian, Moses Storm as Allie's brother Jason, Jennifer Cox as the magical Jenny, and Jonathan Moore as Nick. So the story goes, last year Allie was at her parents' home for Christmas with her boyfriend Cameron, whatever. For several years they have lived together, and when their jobs allowed it, they vacationed in exotic places. Allie was sure Cam was going to pop the question. So when he gave her a little box to open, inside was a pair of earrings instead. Furious, she broke up with him the next day. A year later, she is still single but hurting after the breakup, wondering if she had done the right thing. Allie decides to work over the holidays instead of going home. She is out on her coffee break with her friend where they buy coffee from an outdoor kiosk. Then her boss shows up and invites her to have Christmas dinner with him and his family. He acts weirdly attracted to her and apparently made inappropriate comments or moves at a recent Christmas party, which he apologized for profusely. She seemed to brush it off good-naturedly, and he finally went on his way. As she turned and threw her cup at the trash can, it bounced and the remains splashed all over her white trench coat. Making matters worse, when Allie picked it up off the ground, she broke a heel and fell into a pile of dirt. As she got up, her old boyfriend Cam approached her with his new girlfriend. They looked at Allie strangely because dirt covered her face and clothes. The girlfriend even asked her if she lived in the park, not bothering to explain what happened. They left and she went to a diner for lunch. The negativity continued because Allie had taken her shoes off and the waiter refused to serve her without shoes. Things change though when a goofy girl named Jenny shows up and asks to join her for lunch. Jenny says she senses that Allie is obsessing over some lost romance, and she decides to tell her what happened last year. Quote, "If you could do Christmas all over again, would you do it?" asked Jenny. "Sometimes people do get second chances," end quote. As Allie turns to pay the bill, Jenny disappears. The next morning, Allie wakes up at her parents' house a year ago with her boyfriend Cam. What happens next? Spoiler alert, throughout the rest of the movie, Allie learns she made the right decision because what he believes in or wants to do with her is totally antithetical to the life she had expected to have with him. Jenny shows up throughout the movie giving Allie advice, and the single guy she grew up with still lives across the street. I did not like this movie as much as Kaylin because Allie's mother was so manipulative and controlling. She irritated me so much I felt like smashing my teacup on the ground. She kept pushing Cam onto her daughter, even though, spoiler alert, he didn't want to have children, basically ruining her wish for future grandchildren from her daughter. I also found it hard to believe that after living together for a few years, Allie did not really know her boyfriend at all. For example, did he really ever want to get married or have children? If she knew what he really thought, I'm sure she would have dropped him like a hot potato long ago.
See, it seems like she wasn't interested in knowing what he wanted in a relationship. She was just interested in what she wanted, and she thought that like any person would bend to what she wanted.
Well, I think she just assumed
Yeah.
something, which isn't right. You can't do that. You have to talk. That's what Kaylin liked about it, because at the second time around, she talked to him and found out a few things. It still boggles my mind that after all this time, those subjects never came up. What I liked about the movie was the Christmas redo idea and Jenny's impromptu little visits. Where she came from was never explained. She just said Christmas was magical and that she was magical, and that was that. But it may never happen at any other time of the year, just at Christmas. It still didn't bother me though. As for Kaylin, she recommended this movie because, quote, it was a good story with deep conversations, end quote. If you can put up with the overbearing, manipulative mother who is working against her own interests as well as those of her daughters, and the bewilderment that Allie and Cameron never initially had meaningful conversations about marriage and children, you might like this movie. I give it a piece of pumpkin pie where half of the filling has fallen out.
Oh.
I do not like overbearing mothers who try to manipulate their grown-up daughters' lives, pushing loser boyfriends onto them while driving away others who might be more to her liking. And that's the other part of the story that you will have to watch to find out what I am talking about. Stay tuned for the next Hallmark movie, which I was going to do Christmas in Love, but I cannot get access to it. So we'll see what I come up with. So goodbye, everybody. Or wait a minute, Marco, do you have anything to say besides what you already said?
Well, I have a couple of
something.
videos coming up. I have a pitch video coming up where I pitch a great idea of a kind of sequel to Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll, where it's them crossing over and meeting up with each other. So I have that video, and I just have to write it out. And then I have the video where I break down Better Call Saul season 4 and how it was so inconsistent, and it really like screwed everything up that it was trying to give you. So
Okay, well, I also wanted to point out that Marco will be reviewing the new Christmas movie that came out this past year on Netflix with Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn.
yeah.
And the reason why is that I could not find any movie that Marco could watch that he would care enough to watch that was a Hallmark movie. Basically,
What's the reason for
they're
that,
made
Safi?
for women
I know.
and or young women, whatever, of any age, and it's not a cut because
Yes, it is.
according to the research out there, who buys cards? Women. Women are the
matter.
women are the ones who buy cards. So,
Doesn't matter.
but I still wish they would make something that Marco could watch. Last year, if you recall, I had him watch The Christmas Train because Danny Glover was in it. So it was more,
And Joan Cusack.
and Joan Cusack, so it was more oriented toward a holistic story that didn't just focus on a romance. And this just, the one I just did, I mean, basically it was a romance or relationship that she got to have a second chance at to see if what she had done before was a mistake or not. And so I don't think he'd care to watch that kind of movie. So anyway, the one I saw, the Christmas one on Netflix twice, and he has not seen it yet. So
Reason why I did not watch it is because I stay away from Netflix movies for the most part. They're always mediocre, and it seems like there's like a tiny budget spent on it. Seems like the idea was good, but then the filmmaker wasn't talented enough to actually make it good. Like I watched The Babysitter. That movie was basically like just copying every other horror movie ever made. And then I watched Mowgli, and that wasn't supposed to be a Netflix movie, but it was really good, but still. So I kind of don't have an affinity for Netflix movies. And the thing, I think that your movie would have been better if if instead that she had gotten a do-over of before they met, and then instead of being with him, she would be with the other guy to begin with.
well, that's the story I did not talk about because I thought other people, why she's not with that guy has something to do with her mother. I'll just say that. Which really is another reason that she irritated me.
So there you go.
So manipulative, overbearing, and working against her own self-interest.
So she's like that awful mother from Great Expectations.
I suppose.
Ugh.
But anyway, I saw this Christmas movie, this Netflix Christmas movie twice, and I think that Marco will like it because it is very entertaining, and it seemed to be very popular, and it may go down as a classic, like Elf and others. Okay, so I think we better go now. So I'll be back for round 2 of Hallmark Christmas Week. Bye, everybody.